My friends and I decided to go on a camping trip to a remote beach. The sky was clear, the sun sparkled on the surface of the water, and the trip felt like a dream. We brought everything we needed: food, drinks, and a colorful tent to set up near the waves. When we arrived, we started pitching the tent, our laughter filling the air. After we finished, we decided to explore the beach and enjoy the beauty of nature. As we wandered, we heard screams coming from afar. Out of curiosity, we moved closer and found a group of people arguing, and the atmosphere was thick with tension. One of them was speaking loudly, while the other looked extremely angry. We glanced at each other with concern, but our curiosity outweighed our fear. We thought about intervening to break up the fight, but as we got closer, we sensed that the situation could explode at any moment. As we watched from a distance, we were surprised when one of the groups started heading toward us. It was clear they were in a state of intense anger, and they appeared to have hostile intentions. We tried to quietly back away, but they had already spotted us. "Stay away from us," one of them shouted, sending a chill down our spines. Our nerves were tense, and we began to realize that getting involved in this fight could be dangerous. But we were hesitant: should we help or run? As we attempted to move farther away, the argument suddenly escalated, and fists started flying. My heart raced. We knew we had to make a quick decision. I called one of my friends, and we decided to contact the police for help. While I dialed the number, we saw someone approaching us quickly, holding something in their hand. "Don't you get it? You need to leave," he yelled again, and the clouds started to gather in the sky at that moment. Events escalated terrifyingly, and we felt fear creeping into our hearts. At that moment, I called the police and quickly explained the situation. As I put the phone in my pocket, the man approached us, and it seemed like he wanted to attack us. I was overcome with panic, and I started running with my friends. "Go!" I screamed, not looking back. We were running toward the tent as the sounds of the commotion faded behind us. We reached the tent and rushed inside, shutting the door tightly. We were in a state of panic, our hearts pounding. After what felt like an eternity, we heard police sirens approaching. Our fear turned to hope, and we huddled near the entrance of the tent. The doors opened, and we saw the police officers heading toward the scene of the altercation. They were speaking with the people involved, and it seemed like the situation was being brought under control. We slowly stepped out of the tent and saw one of the officers walking toward us. "Are you all okay?" he asked, looking concerned. I explained what had happened, and he assured us that everything was now under control. In that moment, we realized that the trip, which had started as a dream, had turned into a nightmare. But thanks to our quick thinking and calling the police, we made it out safely. Once we were sure we were safe, we decided to head home, carrying an experience we would never forget. One weekend, my friends and I decided to go on a camping trip in the forest near our town. The forest was known for its natural beauty, and we wanted to experience something unique under the stars. We packed the tent and snacks and set off with excitement. When we arrived, we chose a spot far from the road, surrounded by dense trees and flowing water. We started setting up the tent and preparing to light a fire. Once we were done, we sat around the fire, sharing stories and laughing. The atmosphere was relaxed and cheerful. As time passed, the sky began to fill with clouds, giving the place a mysterious vibe. While we were having dinner, I noticed something strange in the forest. There was a faint sound coming from a distance, like something was moving in the darkness. I tried to ignore it, but my curiosity grew. I decided to keep a closer watch. Suddenly, the wind dimmed the fire a bit, and I began to feel uneasy. When I told my friends about the sound, they exchanged nervous glances. "Maybe it's just an animal," one of them said, but doubt started to creep in. Was there something else in the darkness watching us? After the wind extinguished the fire, we started to feel cold. I sat with my friends, anxiously watching the area around us. The sound was faint but continuous. We decided to check out what was happening. We grabbed our flashlights and headed toward the source of the noise. With every step, our tension grew. The flashlights lit up the area, but the thick trees made it hard to see. "Do you think we should go back?" one of the girls asked, but I felt curiosity pushing us forward. We reached a more open area, and the sounds became clearer. It seemed like something was moving in the bushes. Suddenly, the noise stopped, and silence fell. We exchanged glances, and fear started creeping in. Then, in an unexpected moment, a large shadow appeared between the trees. The features were unclear, but it was moving in our direction. One of my friends screamed, "Run!" and we dashed toward the tent as fast as we could. Our hearts were pounding, and we ran without looking back. When we reached the tent, we shut the door tightly. We were breathing heavily, unsure of what to do next. Was it just an animal, or was there something else out there? Inside the tent, there was complete silence. We looked at each other with panic overtaking us. "What do we do now?" one of the girls whispered, and our eyes were fixed on the entrance. I tried to calm myself down and told them to stay quiet. After a few minutes, we started hearing faint noises coming from outside the tent. Footsteps were approaching us, making our hearts beat faster. I decided to check the flashlight and light up the area. But as soon as I opened the small flap in the tent, I saw that shadow again. It was something large and dark, with eyes gleaming in the night. I felt a chill run down my spine, and I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Suddenly, that thing jumped toward the tent, causing all of us to scream. We tried to huddle in the far corner while the shadow began trying to break through the tent. Luckily, the tent was strong. Then, to our surprise, we heard sirens. A police car had arrived, lighting up the area with its bright lights. We felt a sense of hope, and in an instant, the shadow started to retreat. We ran to the entrance to get out and see what was happening. We told the police officers about the situation, and after searching the area, they discovered that the sound was caused by a stray bear. It was fortunate that they had arrived in time. After ensuring we were safe, we decided to leave the campsite. Although the experience was terrifying, it gave us moments of adrenaline and excitement. We returned home with an unforgettable story and a lesson about the power of nature and the consequences of camping in the wild.